Last month, the city of Somerville announced a new 5-year agreement with Tufts. Tufts will pay the city $275,000 per year. That's $100,000 more than the previous agreement. Tufts makes a number of contributions to Somerville, like running a homework help workshop and other programs. But this money will be much needed revenue for the cash-strapped city.
Many universities, hospitals, and other large nonprofits make such payments to the cities and towns where they are located. Most of them call these payments a pilot, which means payment in lieu of taxes, because they don't have to pay real estate taxes on most or all of their property. Somerville Neighborhood News Director Jane Regan takes a look at the new agreement.
Tufts Payment is part of the university's partnership with the cities of Medford and Somerville, but Tufts doesn't call its payment a pilot. I wanted to find out why, and also to find out more about pilots in general. I started my research at the Lincoln Land Institute, a recognized authority on pilots.
One of the rationales for a pilot is that the city is providing police protection, fire protection, street cleaning, snow removal. All those services carry a cost, and the nonprofit uses them, but are not paying for them in property taxes, unlike other taxpayers. There are some problems with pilots. They tend to be negotiated in ad hoc ways. There's no real rhyme or reason for how much different nonprofits are paying, and they can be contentious sometimes and sour important relationships between the nonprofit and the local government.
That's what happened when State Representative Denise Provo supported a bill that would make pilots mandatory for all private institutions of higher education. The bill did not pass.
This is an issue all over the country, so it's a perennial problem in communities where there is a lot of land that's owned by a nonprofit organization that's exempt from paying the property tax.
Tufts University has about $286 million worth of tax-exempt property in Somerville. If Tufts had to pay taxes on that property, it would owe the city about $5.8 million in 2014. Langley calls the exemption from local taxes a geographic mismatch.
There's this major geographic mismatch between the benefits and costs of the exemption. The benefits of charitable activities like educating students, and providing research are very widely dispersed throughout the nation and throughout the entire world. It makes sense that our country wants to subsidize those activities. But at the local level with the property tax exemption, the cost is borne entirely by city residents, and those benefits do not stop at city borders.
In Boston, a task force determined how much large nonprofits should pay.
Their main recommendations are, first of all, that all nonprofits above a certain size should pay 25% of what they would owe in property taxes if they were taxable. So that's the first main recommendation. And the second one is that they included services provided by nonprofits in their formula so that colleges and hospitals can reduce their cash pilot to the extent that they're providing services to the city.
How do Tufts, Harvard, BU, and other institutions measure up? It's hard to compare them exactly because of differing endowments, different student bodies, etc. In Boston, many have now raised their pilot payments, like BU, which has about the same endowment as Tufts. In 2013, BU paid almost 20% of what it would owe, over $6 million in cash and another $6 million in services. For its Boston properties, Tufts paid about 15% of what it would owe, with $375,000 in cash, representing over 7% of what it would owe that city. But in Somerville, Tufts pays only 4.7% of what it would owe. Still, Langley thinks the Tufts payment isn't too bad.
My overall impression is positive. I think that the amount that Tufts is paying is within the range that I would expect from an institution like that in this region. Certainly it's not a huge percentage of what they would owe if they were taxable.
It seems very low to me, especially considering, for instance, Tufts is going to be getting a brand new Green Line station at its front door. I think it would probably be helpful if dispassionate individuals could come up with some kind of formula for figuring out what is fair for any given institution, recognizing that they differ a lot.
If Tufts were to pay 25% of what it would owe in property taxes, it would have to pay the city about $1.45 million in 2014. Asked about this formula, Tufts said, "Each city will have its own approach to working with tax-exempt institutions. Somerville has not adopted the approach Boston uses. We greatly appreciate Mayor Curtatoni's willingness to work with Tufts on what is reasonable while still increasing the university's annual payments and adding new benefits around college admission for Somerville High School students and playing fields for youth soccer." I never found out exactly why Tufts doesn't call its payments pilots. But in any case, as cities and towns continue to struggle to make ends meet, the debate over how much nonprofits should pay host communities for the fact that they get out of paying property taxes, no matter what you call the payments, is not going away anytime soon. For Somerville Neighborhood News, I'm Jane Regan.
I had no idea that nonprofits got a property tax exemption.